Alright. This is my first, like, time filming and being serious about it. I've been serious with it in the past, but I was just not in a place to be filming and not in a place to be, like, on camera starting my YouTube channel. Like, imagine if I started this thing with my hair like this, like, me crying, being like, I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I'm crying in the gym bathroom. Like, I was just not in a place to start a YouTube channel and have coherent thoughts because I just went through the toughest heartbreak of my life almost a year ago of this time. It started in September of last year. It's August now. It felt like it was just like yesterday, and that's why I think I'm coherent enough to like explain my thoughts but also still feel how it felt, and I still remember the lessons fresh. And lately I've been dating again and like the old wounds have been opening, and I feel like I've built up the muscles to deal with and heal myself from my attachment style, but I am still learning. And I thought that it would be kind of cool to document my learning process. Like, I'm a very empathetic person. I'm an artist. I'm a working artist. I do photography for a newspaper. I have a public studio and art openings. I'm everywhere in the city. I feel like everyone always sees my face all over the place, and I've in the past have been such like a quiet person that when I see people out, I don't think they view me as a quiet person anymore, and they view me as just someone who's kind of standoffish, and that's just not the case because I'm scared. Like, I'm scared to talk to people, but I'm learning. I feel like mental illness is very mainstream now. You know, everyone's like, I need a mental health day, this and that, and mental health matters, and that is good. I think that it's good, but there's just so much of it that all of it gets so misconstrued, and like when real like snotty, ugly mental health stuff comes up, it doesn't feel valid anymore because everyone has anxiety and everyone's depressed and everyone, you know. I grew up as a super anxious person. Like, at age 7, I stopped talking, and I didn't talk again until I was like 20. That's 13 years of being basically mute. That is a different kind of anxiety. Like, I didn't have friends in school. I didn't talk to people. I never went to a party until I was like 21. Didn't drink until I was almost 21. Dealing with that and now being seen as an extrovert and an artist and someone who's like public facing is a really tough thing to navigate. I've always had a very anxious attachment style, and I think that comes across in my art a lot because my art has to do a lot with like self-identity and navigating relationships and my internal feelings, and I was really scared to be vulnerable with my art at first, but recently I've like, I would say the past 2 years I've really gotten over it and just started saying whatever I want to in my art, because if I'm not gonna say it, who is? You know, like I want to say the things that I'm feeling, and I want to be as authentic as possible, and I think that's why people have been viewing me as a extrovert, you know, because I'm not scared to be vulnerable anymore. It's just when I'm vulnerable and it's taken for granted, it still really hurts. People think extroverts like don't have as many feelings as introverts do. I think introverts are really seen as these like, oh, I'm introverted, I feel so much. Extroverts are kind of viewed as like, oh, I'll just let things like bounce off of me and I don't really feel much, and that's just not the case because extroverts still take things to heart a lot, trust me. Moving into dating, when I got my first girlfriend, it was almost magical. Like, I felt like I was in a movie. I was so in love. Like, we both, now looking back, were anxiously attached, so we fed each other's attachment pretty well. I wouldn't say that it's ideal. I would say I would get anxious, then she would be anxious, and it's both like we're so anxious that we need to be together all the time, and that's just not sustainable, and eventually due to other reasons, that ended. But when I got into my second relationship, the one that just ended last year, it was me being high-strung and anxious, especially coming off of an anxious relationship. And then this person had BPD, first of all, and I don't want to paint like BPD people or people with BPD as monsters, but I think BPD and anxious attachment, they're bound to have like really big issues. Very wishy-washy. I would get emotional whiplash a lot, and she was very avoidant. So something in my last relationship that would happen is she would do something to trigger me, and then she would see that I'm triggered and dip. It's a whole explanation for another, that's whole explanation for another time. Maybe I'll do a whole separate video on that. But that I already had like very big intense emotions before that relationship, just because of my own coming up, and I'm an artist and I'm mushy and gushy and I can't keep my feelings inside my body. And it kind of like times that by 100. So coming out of that relationship, I was just kind of like a shell of myself, and I stopped eating, not on purpose. I wasn't able to eat. We all know how that goes, I think. And I really went into this introspective, you gotta get it together, this is never gonna happen to me again mode. And now I'm kind of coming out of that. I'm dating again. I'm reading attachment style books. I just read Attached. I forget the author, but I read the book, or I'm reading the book Attached, and it's making me look at myself and be like, oh, okay, so it wasn't only them, which a big part of it was them, but also I let myself be treated that way, and I let myself stay. Like, I stayed, and that's on me. I should have never stayed. Yeah, I'm really learning to hold myself accountable for my own actions and learn, or at least try to learn, to protect my peace from people who don't have it all figured out, because I take everything personally and I think everybody knows better than me, and if they're acting distant, it's probably my fault, it's not theirs. If they're distant, I'm like, oh, I did this, is it me, are you mad at me? And that only pushes them away farther, as you probably know. So I've really stepped into looking at myself, and if they're distant, I try to assume that it's not me. I try to act in ways that I'm proud of, not asking if, are you mad at me, like 1,000 times. I just put it out there, I hope everything's okay. Let me know if you need anything, I'm here. And then I turn inward and I try to work on myself. Like today, my plans were canceled for today. I was in a work meeting. I left my work meeting a little bit early. I was like, I have to go. Really, I just went to go cry in my car. Because, again, big feelings, sometimes I can't control them, and that's just how I am at this point, and that is me. Usually, in my past relationship, get canceled on, I need to talk to her, because when my anxious attachment is triggered, I need connection. And people just don't work like that always. You aren't able to connect when you're like triggered a lot of the time. You're not, because people are going through their own things. There's a spider over there, oh my god. I'm gonna go kill it. I'll be right back. It's dead. She's dead. But people don't always act the way you want them to act. People don't always act the way you want them to act, and I just put it out there. Sucks that it can't, I was excited for my plans. It sucks. If you need me, I'm here. I know that people don't like to talk about what they're going through as much as I do, but I'm here in case you need me. And then I went to a coffee shop, I sat there, I drew, I listened to music, cried a little bit more, because honestly, I don't need those plans today, but it hits something within me that like goes a little bit deeper than the situation. Like the surface of the situation, I don't need to do anything today. The rest of my week's open, who cares? You know, I gotta clean my room. You can't see it, there's a mess everywhere. It's something, it hits that little kid inside of me that just wants to cry and scream, and who knows what that is. Someone tell me, you know. Hits that little part in me that's like a kid that's like, but I wanted to, but these were the plans, but you said you'd be there. And the adult in my mind has to take the steering wheel and say, we can still have a good day. We can write on your you can write on your whiteboard, you can get your life in order, you can draw, we can go to a coffee shop together, we can still make dinner. It's just convincing that younger part of myself that I don't need anyone. I FaceTimed a friend today that I haven't talked to in a long time. I've been letting myself cry when I need to. I just want to hang out a little bit. I have days like this where I need to just talk and I need to reflect, and I just think what better way to do it than in front of everyone. And I'm just excited to be able to look back at this, and I think my life is pretty interesting. I do lots of things. I'm constantly on the go. I'm constantly making new goals, meeting new goals. I don't applaud myself enough for that. I'm in a big turning point in my life. Like, I'm 24, about to be 25 in like 2 months. I'm moving into a house. I'm a working artist. I'm a working photographer. I am navigating friendships for it feels like the first time ever. I guess not. I'm intentionally navigating friendships for the first time ever. I'm gonna work on how much to share on here because I don't want to like scare people off and have them be like, oh, don't be friends with Taylor, she talks about you on the internet. I'm trying to find the balance, and I'm trying to make this interesting, and I'm trying to make it memorable. For the rest of this video, I'm just gonna like hang out. I haven't eaten all day. I've been running on coffee and anxiety, so I'm just gonna breathe. I'm going to write down some words of encouragement on my whiteboard. Even though I haven't been sleeping in my bed, I've been sleeping on the couch because this room gives me bad vibes and ex-girlfriend energy, and I'm just not here for it. Maybe that's something we'll get over together on this channel, but well, I guess you're not getting over it. I am. You'll watch me get over ex-girlfriend vibes, but maybe we'll make dinner. Maybe we'll cry. Maybe we'll draw. Maybe we'll clean. I don't know. Oh, I also wanted to talk about balancing big and intense emotions that help your art with taking care of yourself, because I know lots of artists have kind of this like double-edged sword of pain is good for art. Pain is good. It's like almost masochistic in a way. Pain is good for art. Give me the pain. I can take it. I'll shape-shift it into some art thing. There's a level of pain that doesn't feel good. I know pain feels good to a lot of artists. Like, it's kind of that like, ooh, I'm an artist, like, and it's raining and I'm gonna do my watercolor and then I'm gonna go cry. But like, there's that level of sadness that like, sure, that level of sadness gives you some inspiration, but there's also a level of sadness that is debilitating. I'm really trying to get a grip as hard as I can, and I am putting my feet on the ground and making things happen for myself now. I'm using the debilitating sadness that I went through, like it couldn't be for nothing, but I cannot feel like that again. I cannot repeat that. That is something that I only want to feel one time. I'm really trying to find the balance. I don't think there is a balance with artists of how much sad is enough, but not too much. Okay.